Hello, my friends. Welcome to Cajun Underwood channel. Woo. And today's topic is going to be hot water cornbread. The most delicious cornbread in the universe. I love it. And this is what it should look like if it's done properly. It should be like a hamburger patty. And boy, are they good with turnip greens or collard greens. Oh man, it just puts everything on a different level. We call it hot water because we put scalding hot water on the cornmeal. Now, for years, I wouldn't give this recipe out. I used to say, if I tell you, I'd have to kill you. But since the old preacher man on Duck Dynasty did a cooking video and done spilled the beans, might as well just come clean. The fact is we had about 1/4 flour. So it's self-rising cornmeal and self-rising flour and a little salt. And that's it. It's not a big secret. I like to use grapeseed oil. It doesn't seem to tend to give it a flavor at all, and that's what I like. I like to taste my cornbread. I like the yellow meal, and as you can see, when you put that scalding hot water on it, it'll make it into a ball. But we're not doing that type cornbread. Hush puppies, we're doing hot water cornbread, what we sometimes call hoe cakes. Now, what we do here is we take our little spatula and we flatten this out real good, see? And then we take it carefully, put right under it. And we put this baby into the hot grease, excuse me. And sometimes, to help it cook through and through, I like to use a lid. You don't have to use a lid. And folks, this reminds me of a story, One time when I was in Georgia, my sister's boyfriend was over and we were gonna release this coon. And we thought we were training dogs for UKC hunts, and I had some really nice black and tans, and we took this big live cage and this little 12-pound coon. It was not the 40-pound monster, it was just a 12-pound raccoon that didn't seem mean at all. We took it out to the backyard, to the edge of the forest, and set that cage down, and I hold my Gyp Dixie. Oh, she was a beautiful coon dog. Great hunter too. And her brother, Jethro. Jethro was a little dumb, but we called him Jethro because he would swallow a whole corn cob. He'd eat. And Jethro was twice as big as Dixie. He was a good dog. And yeah, as you can see now, it's starting to sizzle up a little bit. And now what we do is we just flip it. Now, I do the 3-flip. I cook it on one side and it gets a little golden brown. I flip it over and I cook it on the other side and get a little golden brown. I flip it back over and cook it again about a full minute to make sure that the dough is cooked all the way through. Because I'm telling you, if you have this and some black-eyed peas and some fried chicken, it's called soul food. I mean, your whole family is going to think, you're a superstar. And you need to try this recipe, hot water cornbread. But, back to my story, we were out there and we released that coon. And we were all expecting that little coon to run up the tree, and we were going to let the dogs go, and they were going to bark, and we were going to pat them and tell them how wonderful they were, give them a little doggy treat, and then we were going to go back home, and everything was going to be happy. Well, we let that coon go, and that coon shot out of that cage and ran about 3 yards. Then that coon stopped, turned, and run straight towards me and whooped my dog, bit a hole clean through her ear. Then jumped on me, and when the coon dog run back that way, the lead was wrapped around my hand. When he ran that way, it snatched me down on my back. And that little raccoon made a lunge for my jugular vein. And I threw my arm up, and I looked over at my friend holding Jethro on the lead, and I said, "Let Jethro go." And, you know, my friend was over there like, just looking, and he was froze. And, boy, that coon started gnawing on my arm. He couldn't get my throat, so he just gnawing on my arm. The fight was on, and I couldn't pull that coon off of me. That coon felt like he was 3 times as strong as me. And this was years ago. I was a stout young man, you know. I was buff, but I couldn't budge that coon. And I said, "If I had my gun, I'd shoot you so you'd let my dog go." And then he jogged his memory. He unleashed that dog. And just as that coon took another good chomp down there in my arm, Jethro come running by like Superman and grabbed the back of that neck of that coon, and crunch, you could hear them bones. And I said, "Oh." Jethro was shaking that coon all to pieces, and I'm going, "Oh, thank God." I mean, I thought that coon was gonna kill me. And that just goes to show, those cuddly little coons down there, they're wild animals. You know, my grandma used to call them varmints, you know, and you need to be careful about feeding them, because you never know when they decide that you're on the menu. Because they're wild animals. You just don't know. Yep. All right. So, when you're out in the woods and you see a coon wander up to you like he's wanting you to give him something to eat, you know, just shush him on, and don't you hand him anything, because he might be looking at your finger. You never know, because they're tough, buddy. I'm telling you, that's a true story I just told you. And this cornbread is a true story too. The most delicious cornbread you'll ever eat, and it's called hot water cornbread. It's soul food. And you know, you can also cook up a whole bunch of these and put them in a bag and then take them hunting, and then you'll have a nice healthy snack. Hot water cornbread. You guys try that, you'll love it, I'll guarantee. God bless.